what day it is. Tuesday, the 27th of March, 2018. Low, yeah. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. So always be small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Thank you for being here at Forex.Today today. You were at Forex.Today yesterday, probably, and I appreciate that. Thank you for posting your trading ideas and sharing it with others. It's called collaboration. And I think if you post, you're going to get mental experience, and then if you leave feedback, you know, looking at someone else's post, thinking about it, and leaving a comment, I honestly believe you'll become a better trader. In fact, I think it's more important than trading. So do what you want to do. But anyways, thanks for being at Forex.Today. My name is Wayne McDonald. I am the Chief FX Market Strategist for TradersWay.com. We're a small boutique Forex trading brokerage, and we'd like to be the broker for your successful Forex trading business. So I am charged with the duties of helping you go from amateur on a demo to having skills and confidence in your abilities to maybe trade real money one day, and then help you survive and then thrive for many successful and positive and profitable years to come. And we'll grow with you as you grow your successful Forex trading business. And I think that's a pretty good business plan. And well, thank you, because it's my business plan. So that's good. So we do these sessions 7:30 in the morning, Monday through Friday here at Forex.Today, except typically the first Friday of the month. I'm over at FX Street for Trade Non-Farm Payrolls Live. This will be the 12-year anniversary of that webinar, the 144th rendition of Trade Non-Farm Payrolls Live. So apparently I've been doing this a long time. If just that webinar, we're having the 12th-year anniversary. So yeah, I guess you have to call me, I've gone from Uncle Wayne to Grandpa Wayne. But we do the session 7:30 in the morning because it's a couple hours before the New York session opens. It's also approximately London lunch, and it's a great opportunity to get together as a community and, like I said, collaboration and participation. Matt, I hope you took the poop bag. Matt took his dogs out for a walk. No need. Yeah, it's Georgia. There's no need. I feel so bad. I only have 2 acres, Matt. Use Paul! Yeah, my poor thing, poor baby. All right, let me fire up the charts. And only one waterfall. I mean, it's lame, man. Yeah, actually, I was driving somewhere through Georgia just over the weekend, and I saw a sign for sale. It was like 8,770 something acres. I'm like, that's a nice spread. Yeah. Actually, you're out there, Athens, aren't you? Is out toward? I was driving to Athens, actually. Yeah. Went to Jittery Joe's. Had lunch at I don't know what it was called. Over near the I guess the old city hall. Yeah. Yeah, decided to attend a protest with a bunch of chubby girls with blue hair and nose rings. Yeah, why not? Go dogs. All right, so anyways, let's get going. Too early to do the peso. But notice the peso is moving even though the dollar's strong. It's pretty interesting, but we'll come to that later. Let's start with euro dollar. Now look at that. Now our conversation yesterday, when? Yesterday. How long ago was that? That was yesterday. We talked about you couldn't catch it here because it's too late. You were supposed to catch it on Friday, right? Back in here. And there was the target for the week. Okay, now check this out. It's quite a coincidence, huh? And what is the law of averages? What are you supposed to do when you hit R2? The law of averages just take profit, right? Now, do you remember we talked about it like it's way out of position, it's super aggressive. Maybe this goes up. Maybe it goes up and up and up and up, right? Remember that? And I said, well, but don't worry about it because that's not your job. I mean, your job isn't to say, well, it might go up further. Your job is to manage the risk and do your job is to do your job, right? And so anyways, I've preached over the last, 2 weeks, we've really covered this this idea of the law of averages. Because when you get up here, yeah, maybe it goes up further or maybe it collapses. And if it was 50-50, you're just better off getting out here and maybe finding a better trade, right? Just but moveon.com. Well, here's a prime example, you know, in almost real time. Since we talked about it yesterday, that there's a high propensity for it to collapse at exactly that price, 124.75. And that's neat, huh? Isn't it neat? That's why I developed 14 or 15 years ago. I said to myself, hey, that's interesting. Sometimes it goes up. Most of the time it will come down. Maybe I should take hope out of my strategy and just say, if I am so lucky and I am given the privilege of taking profit here, I should be happy, grateful, and thrilled to take my profit and just wash my hands for dinner and we're done. Well, that's a neat rule, right? How many years would it take you to develop that on your own? Just remember, I only have that 1 or 2 rules of thumb, if you will, because I like to make the decisions, but that's a big one for me. Yeah, well, if it's a lot, then there's some value there, right? And then, of course, the bigger question is, well, what if you didn't have pivot points? And then you wouldn't even know, because you're like, oh, snap! That thing just collapsed at 124.75, right? Sorry, 124.73. You're like, oh, it's my broker hunting my stop. And the sky's falling, or whatever people that don't understand say to justify their losses. I don't know. But holy smokes, thank goodness you know now, right? Like that's what I'd write that down. Holy smokes, thank goodness I know now. And if you're Canadian, you say, holy smokes, eh? And you have to write the A down. It's kind of like meh without the M. Eh? So, how did we learn? Well, did we learn anything about all these setups? We wedged it. We recognized a breakout. Then we channeled it, and now it's popped up and hit the target. You may notice if you're a bull, this would be a buying zone. And remember, as a bull, you are trying to get this up to 26.50. It's because I have two sets of pivot point plotters. I have one plotting weeklies and another set plotting monthlies. And then I customize the colors and stuff. I just change the settings. Okay. Yeah, so you would, it's not necessarily a role reversal. It's more of a, well, yeah, it is a role reversal. But it's also, so you'd call that the role reversal, right? It's also a fib of this move. It's a fib of that move. But what I'm trying to say is, if you recall 3 weeks ago, we started this journey here, okay? And we talked about, even though nothing says up, that we're in a place where bulls would buy, okay? Three weeks ago, 4 weeks ago now. I guess it was 4 weeks ago, I'm sorry. We were down here, and I'm like, look, nothing says up, but we're in a place where people would buy. Other than that, we don't really know anything. Then it went up, and this is a high area. It comes back down. Then we wedge, okay? But where are we going? Where was the assumption? If you were a buyer here, what is this assumed target? The conservative target is this area. Okay. We'll call it 125.50 to 126, but probably 125.59 roughly. Okay. So there's an assumption that that's where we're going. Okay. That was another reason why we drew this channel up, and I think I said we're running out of time. I don't know if we have the velocity to get up there by the end of the month, and that maybe to do it we might have to use next month's pivots and all that kind of stuff. I mean, these are multiple conversations now, but you could still assume this now. So looking at this area, let me clear this out. Okay, let me give it a one click. Okay, looking at that area now, you probably want to fib this move if you're a bull. Okay. You know what? And I think I actually drew this out with arrows. I remember drawing things like the consolidation, right? Then the sort of an inverse head and shoulders idea. And then I think, then I said the pivot profit zone, then it comes back down, and then we're going to try to get this up next week. So I think I might have done this already, so I apologize. Okay, oops. And, you know, with the inverse head and shoulders thing, you probably want to look at this. But nonetheless, I think if you were a bull, your standard operating procedure would be to measure this out, okay? And then identify your sweet spot, which is the 3A2 to 618 Fibonacci retracement, and then identify anything else that could lend to that support. So we have the role reversal at the 50%, which I've already highlighted. We have a small pivot here, a weekly pivot. Above that, we have a monthly pivot. And then you want to look at 124.00. So there's a lot going in on the top. Well, I guess the whole sweet spot if you throw in all those pivots. So this whole entire sweet spot is a buy zone if you're a bull. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw out the Italian there. That's a buy zone. Right? E Tony, where do we get the euro? You buy it in the buy zone. Luigi, you buy it in the buy zone. All right, so question I've been given here is, where do you put your stop? Well, did you scalp it? Did you spot it? Are you swinging it on a weekly or are you swinging it on a monthly? All of that's going to dictate. Okay? This would be a spot, you'd think. So you'd be in this for maybe somewhere, let's say, so you think you'd be in this no more than 2 hours? Well, that's not a spot trade then. That's a swing trade. Till the end of this month or till the end of next month? All right, so like 3-4 days then. No. All right. So that would be, I'd call that like you're going to try to finish the weekly swing. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that. Yeah. My problem is we're already done this trade. That's the end of the week. We're done. The weekly swing is done. Okay. Okay. So on Friday, so just this was only what 2.5 trading days ago. We talked about this being buy zone for this week. I remember talking about it last week. I'm like, here's the thing that's going to blow your mind. It's not even a trade for today. I'm planning next week's swing trade, but I'm doing it this week. And then we started Monday. I'm like, it's too late. You missed it. Why are you trying to do Friday's trade on Monday, right? And now we're up here. We're already done. Because if you've taken the swing trading course, you know there's a pretty decent probability that we're all the way back here. How would you feel if you were back here all of a sudden, right? Right? How many of my swing traders can confirm that that's a reasonable probability of returning all the way back to that central pivot? How many people know that this is why a major reason why you would take profit? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people so far. 6, 7. Now, 7 people. 8. So you got to be careful. It's done. It's dead. Right? 9, 10, 11, 12 people. All right, cool. Whoa, 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 whoa. 13. Whoa, Ben. Forgiveness, no forgiveness. Yeah. All right. Well, it's like 200 people confirmed. All right, good. So maybe if you haven't taken the swing trading course, maybe you need to swing by fxbootcamp.com. So we don't know if that's going to happen, but here's the thing: you would have assumed that here. And isn't it amazing though too, like when you're actually doing the trading, you're like, wow, this is very difficult to get out at R2, but I know I have to get out at R2 because we hit it this early in the week. There's a high probability of it dropping significantly and retracing all the way back to the central, right? You're thinking that, but you're like, but nothing says it's going to happen. This moved up so fast. How could I possibly take profit now? But you're like, but that's what Wayne told me to do, so I'll get out. And all of a sudden, red. All of a sudden, right? Just like, so that's cool. But, so whoever I was picking on, was it Iman? What you need to do is focus on the monthly swing. Okay? If this was a weekly swing, you'd be done by now. You'd be at the bank, right? You'd be on the carousel, and on the pony going up and down on the carousel licking your ice cream. And you're like, this is the greatest thing ever. I'm a currency trader. Like, dude, this ride's for kids, bro. Shut up, I'm a currency trader. I can do whatever I want. My week is over by Tuesday. Give me another ice cream. I don't know why that was a vision, but that's what I had a vision. What would you do if you were done for the week on Tuesday? Hey, kid, give me that ice cream. Punk. So, but you see what I mean? So this is good. You need to define your strategies. The scalp, you're in it for, let's say less than a half an hour. It could be less than 15 minutes, could be less than 10 minutes, right? A spot, you're just in it for the session, really. Is it the New York morning? Is it the London morning? You're in it for a couple hours. And then, right, you could have daily swings, weekly swings, monthly swings, all that kind of stuff. So just food for thought. Great lesson, though. I stink. So we're still in the situation where it's going up and not coming down. Baby, every dog. So this looks like a move trade so far. Last week's move. Right, all of this. It still looks like we're trying to get to 68. But we are caught up in this noise here. And that's going to be a problem. So, you know what? I wouldn't expect much more than this. I would say it might go up to here. It doesn't have to. I don't think I'd be a seller here, but you could be. This is a bigger sell zone because it's the monthly and weekly target. But it's not next month's sell zone. So this tells me if we do head up here, it's most likely going to continue to be bullish. Okay? And that tells me, if you don't mind me, thinking so far ahead. Let's say it does this. We end the week and the month up here. Okay? Then it tells me basically this. And not down. Okay? Baby, every dog on the street. You should stop singing that song, right? What's the other one? We fear to win, so we fail before we begin. Before we begin. All right. Keep them separated. All right. So let's continue with the discussion with Eamon. Okay. This little X, what type of trade was set up at that little X? Are we so helpless against the tide? No, what type of trade? Scalp, spot, daily swing, weekly swing, monthly swing. Okay, swing. Yeah, what kind of swing? Kind of swing. Yeah, Eamon's got a monthly swing. All right, cool. So how do you treat the lower low? RRLH, roll reversal lower high. what pivots do we are the primary pivots for your trade strategy? Since we're in a monthly swing trading strategy, what are the key pivots you should be using? What kind of pivots? No, no. Well, I don't mean like, yeah. What do you, for example, it's such an obvious question, but do you use daily pivots in your monthly plan? Right? No, you use the monthly pivots, right? Just, we got to be clear, right? All right, so we're down here. We've made a lower low. You're expecting a retracement at some point. We don't know when. Back into a roll reversal and primarily the monthly pivots. And your target is down here. So your general plan for the month is this. The interesting thing is it's not any more complicated than that. Okay. That was the trade. So on the first day of the month, we were here. A bear knows not to sell here, 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 not to sell here. Yeah, maybe sort of somewhere in this zone you could sell. Now, on the first day of the month, if you were a bull, you're like, oh, this is great. And you were hoping for this. Okay? So you pick one. It's called a bias. One of them's going to work and you'll make money. The other one's not going to work, but you don't necessarily have to lose money. If you bought it here on the first day of the month, you know, it went from 77.5 to 79. So yeah, it was only up 150 pips by the time it failed. So even if you were wrong, you made something out of 150, didn't you? At least it's plausible. Because you're thinking, wow, I'm a bull and I'm up 150 pips profit, but I know if it fails right here, my risk has jumped exponentially, because you know at exactly that price, there should be a plethora, a cornucopia of bearishness. I wonder if, oops, I wonder if YouTube can pull that up. Plethora.
Jefe! The German arrived yet?
Not yet, guapo. Many presents have been coming for your birthday.
German has the only presents I want. Guns! Guns, so that the name of El Guapo will be hanging on everyone's lips.
He will be here, guapo. But I think you will like your other presents, too. I have put many beautiful piñatas in the storeroom, each of them filled with little surprises.
Many piñatas?
Oh, yes, many.
Would you say I have a plethora of piñatas?
A what?
A plethora.
Oh, yes. You have a plethora.
Jefe, what is a plethora?
Why, guapo?
Well, you told me I have a plethora. And I just would like to know if you know what a plethora is. I would not like to think that a person would tell someone he has a plethora and find out that that person has no idea what it means to have a plethora.
A plethora! Jefe! Anyways. Yeah, a plethora of bears. Yeah, anyways. What? Give this. What movie is that? It's like the greatest movie ever made. The Three Amigos. Oy vey, goodness. What movie is that? Well, that's the problem. You end up watching the whole movie and you're like, wow, this is so stupid. I love it. A plethora of bears right in that place, right? So, all right. Kitty cat. Boop, boop. Wow, triple, quadruple bottom. When does it become a J-Lo? Are we so helpless against the tide? Baby, every dog on the street knows we're in love with defeat. Are you ready to be swept off your feet? All right, check this out. Does anyone want to buy Canadian dollar? Not the pair, the currency. By the way, Guy, are you gonna is Guy gonna be our Canadian dollar specialist? Is Guy here? I guess Guy's not here today. Any other Canadians in the room that want to be part of the fund that could specialize in Canadian dollar? Are we so? All right. So anyways, if you want to buy the dollar, you want it to fall. I love French fries and gravy. Are you kidding me? All right. Let's clear this out. If you want to buy the Canadian dollar, you want it to fall. I want it to come up to the left shoulder, okay? And I want this to fall. So to do this, you now have to measure the distance between the top and what you've identified as the neckline. I'm just going to use this. You could do it this way. You're splitting the difference. Who cares? Okay, but something like that. And you look at this distance, and you project that from the neckline. Let's say. So let's do that now. Clear. Turn drawing tool off. So what is that? 250 pips? 28? Yeah, 250. No, almost 300 pips. All right. So well, to the other neck. So it's 300 pips from the sloped neckline. So now you got to go 300 pips from here. So 28, 30, so 29. Anyways, let's just do. So that's approximately correct. I'm going to double check this. Hang on. I have it going here. So let's just use mine. 275, wasn't it? Well, we'll call it this. No. It's still this far. Well, the other way to do it, for some reason it seems too far. So it's telling me something. Yeah, it's still down there. So anyways, we keep hitting this pivot, but I'm watching this stuff. Wow, this is interesting. So I just learned something by doing my analysis, but that's why you're supposed to do it. So if you're setting up the head and shoulder, okay, you're supposed to do this and then this, okay? But all of a sudden, I don't see that happening. I thought I was going to see that happen, but this is interesting. This tells me Canadian dollar weakness or US dollar strength. So let's say now you're a bull on this pair. This tells me it's up like this type of up. It's up, way up. I don't want dollar strength, by the way. This is telling me there needs to be some volatility in this pair. Something's not right. It could fall. You know, it's suggesting to me, like, the reason I'm non-committal so far is it's suggesting to me that there needs to be a big move before the end of the month. Like a big CAD move like this that sets up a bigger round next month. I think that's more likely. It's just not in the charts yet. So I think that's interesting. So that I have nothing to prove that. I have nothing to prove any of that. But what I'm thinking, yeah, I'm thinking it's going to go like this first. Interesting. Or they're both weak at the same time, which I'm actually okay with. I mean, that's the other way of reading this, that we have an inside sort of month. And we just sort of float around, I guess, a bottom sort of around here. A top would have to be sort of around here. And nothing happens in April outside of those lines. Yeah, that could happen, right? That could happen. I mean, it basically happened last month, right? So that means USD and CAD are both weak. Shaw says, yeah, but then next month's pivots would move lower. Yeah, and that's part of the calculation. So, I could see it going up, and I could see it coming down. So on a smaller time frame now, I'm going to use sort of the same logic. This is our bottom. This is our top, our primary top, our secondary top. And if I was just a shorter term trader, I would assume, you know, a trade to here and down maybe, or down here. So if I was a buyer, I'd buy it. I can't buy it here. So if I'd buy it, I'd go here and see if it will go higher. And if I'm a bear, I could sell it here and I could sell it there. And I'm thinking a bear is really going to want to do the right shoulder. So it seems to me that this is a self-fulfilling prophecy, and you're going to want to start with that. But the size tells me that we don't have the guts to take it as far as it's supposed to. So it tells me really that we'll probably end up doing that. We move sideways for a month. So there's a lot into that. I don't know if that made sense, but it makes sense to me. Are we so helpless against the tide, baby? Every dog on the street knows we're in love with defeat. Forgiveness. Give me fuel, give me fire. Nice. A buying opportunity. Oh. Ooh. All right. Buying opportunity. Watch for a higher high for intraday trade next week. Yeah, so so you're going back to what we had earlier, right? We talked about, yeah, if you had to be a bull, you'd be looking at something like this. The problem I have with it, and I think I mentioned it when we covered it earlier, is that you're ignoring the desire for most of the bullish market to exit. Okay? That bulls took profit. It may not simply be a pullback, that they're taking it down to here. Or to say differently, if you were a bear, let's see, you were interested in selling here, not really interested in selling here. This is okay, but unsure. But like this is a big sell. Like you could actually sell there. Hunting people stops, right? So to me, it's like when you are expecting a top, an aggressive top, like an R2 type top, where all the bulls are supposed to get out, but bears can also get in, you kind of want to be cautious. And it's not just another dip. I mean, it could be, but you got to be careful, right? So, like I said, give yourself 3, 4, 5 reasons to buy and fib it and look at the psych levels and the roll reversals. But I wouldn't be too quick to get in. Okay? But I can see what you're doing. It's fine. But don't be shocked if it comes down hard. This is an aggressive trade plan. So we've reached the weekly target, so we're going to be careful. Boom. Well said. So I trained, or I coached William, I'm guessing 10 years ago. Yep. So 618 Fibonacci retracement. But what else, right? Like, I guess kicking off 106, right? So if I were to draw on top of this, yeah, I would try to combine the psych with the fib. Yeah, win, right? Oh, I don't trust this. 533. I guess it's all right. So, anyways, maybe you get a move like that. That seems to be fine. On the 4 hours, definitely elevated, so that's fine. Yeah. Okay. Right? Boo, 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 boo. Boo, 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 boo. Are you so helpless against the time, baby? Hello, traders. By recommending sells, I will be following the general trend of this pair over the last few months. Great. So sell, sell, sell. Great, great, great. Pound Kiwi. Sell limit support line. It's funny. I wouldn't be thinking that. All right. So let's see how this goes. Wait for a sell signal. So up, wait till the next. Oh, I see what. All right. So looks like this is Thomas's plan to take it up, bring it down, bring it up, drop it. And in this case, your oscillator at that point would look like this. All right, I get that. I'm not that big on the fundamental side of it, but let's see what else is here. Overextension, blah, 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 blah. Seems to me back to the 21. Ooh, yeah, well, ooh, yeah, ooh. So he has this as a sell signal. I don't consider sell signals until they turn. So being overbought for me is not enough. It has to be overbought and then falling. So, yeah, but the interesting thing is this 4 hour, he says over the last few months, pound has been registering, so he thinks it's overbought. So the daily is over here. So it started with this image and then to this. I'd like to see how the double top plays out before I pull the sell trigger. See how much time this takes to really put thought into someone else's trade plan? But it makes me think, like, what do I like about it? What don't I like about it? I'm not looking at pound Kiwi, so I've learned something. What do I like? And then, of course, what do I like? What do I not like? This is great. So what do we got here? Euro Kiwi short. Everyone loves a Kiwi, huh? Up, down, Yeah, so I look at this, and the first thing I think is I don't really even want to get involved. It's too sideways. There's not enough trend. But you're kicking off the M4, but it did that 4 days ago. Why do it now? Is my next thought. So let's take a look over here. The lower high off of 171 psych. Oh, roll reverse. Okay, yeah. Plus the 55 tells you that it should top out. Yeah, yeah, okay, fine. Now again with the weeklies, okay, so I see. So a weekly swing off of that. Yeah, okay. So yeah, okay, that's fine. I get that. Yeah, this is mediocre. This is okay. Fitting this into the okay is fine. And then on the 1 hour, overbought on the 1 hour, and daily M3. Yeah, it's okay. I'm not in love with it. I'm not in love with it. Everything seems okay on the lower time frames, but the daily seems very sideways. This plan relies a lot on the monthly pivots, and we are near the month, near the end of the, and we are near the end of the month. See what I mean? Like I just can't fathom why you wouldn't spend 20 minutes a day going through people's trade plans and thinking about them and leaving comments. Really, I really don't. Seems like most people just come in, they watch the webinar, they like the chat, they like me going through the charts, and then they're out of here and they're on to the next thing. Okay. The problem with that is I already know how to trade, right? I've already reviewed thousands of trade plans, mine. So I've already developed the skills, and I'm trying to give you the advice. What did I do to make me a better trader? And I put that in the book and everything. I went through my charts in very, very specific and detailed manner. And here's an opportunity to go through all kinds of other people's charts with different strategies and opinions and thought processes and pairs maybe that you don't typically look at. You could really, I'm serious. If you spent 20 minutes a day looking at other people's charts, and let's say another 20 minutes posting your own charts, it's 40 minutes a day. At the end of the year, you're going to have like 5 years of trading experience. For every 1 year you do that, you're going to have like 5 years of trading experience. So I'm a funny guy because I would just attack that. I'd just be on it. I'd just be on it. I'd devour it. But I did that for every little piece of my trading. So like, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago, I spent one entire year trading the 1 minute chart. So Eamon says, what if you're still learning? Well, that's what you're supposed to do. Get in there. Look at other people's charts. What are they thinking? What do you like? What do you don't like? What do you understand? What do you not understand? Ask a question. Leave a comment. Get involved. What if you're still learning? Well, that's the whole point. Right? Yeah. Yeah, right? Yeah. And by the way, when you like someone's post or you leave a comment, they're emailed right away. So, you can, and of course, the next other big thing you can do, how do I bring that back? Is it's here. If you like someone's post, and let's say you comment and they comment back and you're like, I really like this person, you should follow them. Whoa, oops, clicked the wrong button. Hello. Right? So you're like, Giveness's charts are fantastic, and I asked Giveness a question, and then Giveness responds with an answer, and wow, this guy's great. I'm going to follow Giveness. Congratulations, you're now successfully following Giveness. Great. So now when Giveness makes a post, I'm updated by email, like boom, Giveness just made a post. Okay? So anyways, I don't know. I'm a funny dude though. Like I can't do two things at once or even in the same day. I can't do two things in the same day. But I'm crazy on one thing. You know what I mean? And I would just, trade planning is so ridiculously important. I couldn't imagine just coming to a webinar and saying, wow, that Wayne, he's a pretty good trader. Really like his stuff. He makes me laugh too. Great. And then just disappear. Like, wow, really? So I want you to be an incredibly good trader. I really do. And then I'm trying to create other opportunities for you once you become a great trader, to be a great professional trader, which is really different. But it's just amazing that you don't have 5 minutes to leave one comment on one other person's trade plan. Even that, right? Yeah, I mean, but I do that, and then we just get spammed, and people put garbage up there. And people, I mean, just here's the problem: people don't use it. So I don't know. Help me, help you, but I don't find people use it, and it just gets all garbaged and spammed, and it's you're right. So, anyways. All right, so anyways, so there we are at oil and all that kind of stuff. Do you want to do some yens and then call it a day? What time is it? Yeah, we got some time. Baby, don't stop singing that, Wayne. Stop it. Stop it. What should we do? What should we do with the drunken sailor? We should, well, let's start with USD yen. Okay, cool. Look at it here. So this is a tough one because we're kicking off the S1. But I'd be remiss if I didn't ask the obvious question. Well, Eamon, most people took my fundamentals course. Anyways. You see that? That's the monthly support 1 pivot. So I don't think that that's coincidence, right? The 1, 2, 3, 4 touches of a 4-hour. Oh, okay. So yeah, you want some more? Yeah. And we are going to expand that out in the future for you guys because a lot of people have asked for it. So we'll go through fundamentals. I'll take that a little further out. I'll model that one out, and then we'll do one on sort of more like economic indicators. Yeah, oh yeah, there's tons. So the problem is it could be endless, right? So anyways, we're on the monthly pivot. And what did that set us up for on Monday? Here. We knew that on Monday. So the target for this week is 106.65 to 107.30. That's a big spread. The danger zone is if we hit up here and then we get, this could be a long way down. I don't want that to be a long way down. And you should already know why, because it's my bias. So maybe we do, this would be better for me, for you. It could also be like this. Right. That was funny in one of my classes. I'm in a management class, and we're talking about motivating people with money, right? And the professor's like, and do you even, what is money anyway? So I'm like, ooh, 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 ooh. And he's like, oh my God. Wayne, do you know what money is? It's a medium of exchange. You have an account of store value. I was like, yes. Yes, great. Yeah, yet another answer from Wayne. Thanks. Actually, last week was really funny because so some of my classes I log in online, right? And most of the my computer screens are usually turned off, but people see them because we're all talking as a group. So there's about 30 people in the classroom and about maybe 20 people on video camera, right? And I can talk to the classroom can talk to me. The people in the classroom are mic'd. Well, they have microphones on their desks and stuff. So it's pretty interesting. But anyways, so the professor, he's professoring, he's teaching, lecturing or whatever. And then he turns to the big screen to talk to the online people, and he's like, holy smokes. He's like, Wayne, your monitors are so much more impressive when they're lit up. And I'm like, what? I'd left them on, and he was just startled. And I'm like, oh, yeah, well, the chicks dig them. What can I say? That's how I roll, bro. Bruh. Yeah, I can be a smarty pants. There's no doubt about it. You don't want to play trivia against me, that's for sure. And I had an engineering friend years ago, and he moved away, but then I think he's moved back in town. But we were at a party one time, and he got drunk. He was upset. I think because he was moving out of town, maybe he was upset or something. But he came up to me, and he's drunk, right? And I'm just like, I'm not drunk at all. He comes up, and he's like, I hate you. I'm like, whoa, bro, is everything all right? He's like, you're smarter than me. I'm like, whoa, where's this coming from? This is dark. He's like, I'm the top of my class in my engineering school, and I run a factory with 3,000 employees. I'm like, yeah, man, I'd love to come visit and see what you do. He's like, well, you're smarter than me. Like, well, okay, this is getting weird. So I pushed him off over there. Like, wow. Oh my God. So I'm like, okay. So I don't know. I don't know where it came from too. I'm like, really? Because I think you're like wicked smart. So I don't know. But I'm sure he'd be really pissed off I go to Harvard now. It's a true story though. It's weird how when people get drunk, their personality, some people, not everyone, their personalities change. So anyways, there's a thought process on that one. But that puts us in a kill zone for bears. You see this? This is a big kill zone for bears. Bears are want to slaughter the bulls, right? So it's like an ambush in here. So you want to kind of be careful. Well, hey man, it's not like we slept together even. The next day, what do you mean? He woke up with his wife and kids. I don't know what the hell he did the next day. Probably never saw him for 3 months. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know. mean, put it this way, like I'm a kid who grew up poor in a low class neighborhood in rural Canada, and then moved to a city that's 1,000,000,000 times worse than that. So for a couple of years, I lived in a town with one streetlight, where nobody ever goes anywhere or does anything outside of farming, and wouldn't even want to think about it. And usually by the time you graduate high school, you're either pregnant or an alcoholic, and that's just the girls. And you would live your whole entire life there. And I remember standing there thinking, I'm going to get the hell out of this place. Okay, so, right? So at that point, my education was pretty low. My access to resources were low. The access to mentors were low. There was just like nothing. I was in a cultural and intellectual isolation and desert, starving intellectually. Right? So that was 1989. So in 1994, I'm sitting on a board of directors with George Soros in New York City. I got the hell out. But smarter, I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't think I'm smarter than most people. In fact, I think most people are smarter than me. But I'm a hard worker. So I'll give myself that credit. But smarter, I don't think so. I'm not dumb, but I don't consider myself smart. I'm capable. But when you meet a smart person, you're like, oh snap, that person's smart. I just try hard, and I'm good, naturally good looking, and have tons of charisma and modesty. But other than that, yeah, I'm constantly just pushing myself so far forward that, you know, half the time the water is above, the water line is here. You know what I mean? So I'm like this my whole life, pulling myself up out of the water. And that's that. Oh my God, no. I've been working since I was, I think when I was 9, I got my first job. How old are you, 9? When I was in 3rd grade, I'll say 4th grade. When I was in 4th grade, I was earning a paycheck, and I spent my very first paycheck on school supplies so that I would have school supplies. By the time I was 10 or 11, I was buying my own clothes, buying my own toys, buying my own bicycle. So there I was, 12 years old. I had an Italian mountain bike, the first mountain bike in the whole neighborhood. People were still riding BMXs. So I bought a Folorimiano mountain bike imported from Italy. Like, I grew up in a poor neighborhood. So how the hell did I do that? I earned money. I had 2 paper routes. And let me tell you, in Canada, when it's minus 40, newspapers are due by 7 a.m. You walk to the front door. There's no riding bikes. There's no driving by in a car, throwing it out the window. You walk through the snow up to the front door, and you fold the newspaper properly so you see the headline, and you put it in the mailbox just right. But it's 5 o'clock in the morning, maybe earlier. And you walk, and it's a long way, and you're carrying the papers. You have a whole bunch of newspapers in your front, and a whole bunch behind. And when you run out of the front, you kind of switch the bag around. And when I was done that newspaper route, then I did the other newspaper route. And you had to collect your own money. So once a month, you had to go door to door and collect the money because you were buying your own paper. Huh? And then at night and on weekends, I worked at hockey games selling Coca-Cola. And then I became sort of a manager of other kids selling Coca-Cola. Then they gave me a whole coffee booth. I'm like 12 years old, and I'm, right? No, I worked my butt off is how I did it. So that I could buy clothes. Yeah. So whatever. Privileged, I don't think. Loving parents, yes. They just happen to be in different countries. Whatever. It's like, hey, it's leap year. You get to see your dad soon. All right. Oh, I was, well, yeah, well, so, no, but no, I lived in Canada. The problem is my father didn't. So I just, I guess we're kind of, there were some trades in here on Monday, right? Like you see this one here, but they're so gosh darn hard to catch. But you see the beautiful entry on Sunday, right? And this part bothers me because the herd got thinned out before we hit the target. So if you got caught on this one, I don't think it's your fault because you missed it by just so little. So that's a real bummer. But I think you can see that entry on Monday. So, again, if you had the hardcore bias where you're like, I'm a bull, but this thing just crashed. But nonetheless, there's the entry. I mean, they're there, right? Some of these are, just hard to catch, right? But you can see, like, let's put this on an hourly. I mean, there's no doubt this opened at the buy zone, right? Yeah. You see that? So on Monday, let's clear this out. Monday, you're a buyer in this area, right? Or you're a seller up into here. If you simplify by doing that, one or the other, you'll find yourself in better trades when you're right and avoiding a lot of bad trades when you're wrong. No, I'm not American. I've made a few, but no. Well, he is now, but no. We so helpless against the tide. I mean, this is like the best one, right? Can you see that? Very, 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 very clear weekly swing on Monday morning. Not nearly where you want to be. The target's way up here. But it's like Monday morning, there was a lot of very clear opportunities, but you might have been psyched out of them. Right? And I get it, but nonetheless, those were buy zones. And like looking at the Aussie, let's do it this way. Is this a price you would assume to buy at? No. Is this a price you'd assume to buy at? No. Is this a price? Oops, let's see. Is this a price you'd assume to buy at? No. Is this a price you'd assume to buy at? No. Is this the price you'd assume to buy at? Yes. Right? It's like, it's so perfect. If you were a bull, you'd be obliged, or no, not obliged, obligated. You know what I mean? You see what I mean? So if you're looking at me and you're like, Wayne, that's so past tense. This is like Tuesday, and that was Monday morning, and you know, or actually for me that's Sunday afternoon, right? So Wayne, that's Sunday afternoon. Here we are, Tuesday morning. That's so behind. Well, the problem is, like, you need to be doing this for yourself, right? Or the step up, right? And now the role reversal, this kind of stuff. You need to be doing that yourself. That's right in here. Right? Okay. The other thing is, I like this part. But this is beautiful. And if you're a bull, that's very obvious. And if you're a bear, your sell zone was sort of up in here. And you never really got it. You might have drank this Kool-Aid here and said, oh my God, it's kicking off the central. But that's really, really aggressively bearish. But I could see it. I mean, you could make that mistake. I mean, it's only a mistake because you lost money. But your thought process is valid, right? If you took a shot there, you know, because that's hourly. I mean, it basically fell for 4 or 5 hours, right? So you're like, yeah, okay, you take the shot. And that didn't work out. Just basic ones, Wesley. I don't think I've even seen a Fibonacci pivot point. I know they're out there. There's all kinds of weird ones and stuff. I don't know what they're about. To me, they feel like products you're supposed to buy, right? Which pivots do I use? The yellow Lamborghini pivots. Yeah, well, when I started, they weren't, so I don't know anything about them. Nothing. I don't think I've even seen them. I have no idea. But I like my yellow Lambo pivots. Yeah. No, Fibbits I invented. So maybe that's what the Fibonacci pivots are. I don't know. That part I invented. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know. More than 10 years ago. And what I asked Kurt to program them for me when he was learning CTL, I think it was. And what I was doing was I took the key pivot points that I like to use on daily pivots, right? And then I used to do a trade called the Asian fade. Okay. This is old school, right? So Asia fade was a type of swing trade. It was a daily swing. And I use Fibonacci for that very often. So for example, I would say, okay, here's a high, a low, and I wanted to sell somewhere between the 3A to 50%, and 618 Fibonacci retracements of this high and this low. And then I would overlap them with pivot points, and you can see there's some pivot points here too, which just happen to be doing basically the same thing. So my Asian fade trade would look something like this on a daily pivot, and I would look at somewhere between the 382 and, or I guess that'd be 38 and the 618. Okay. And it would combine the daily pivots with the Fibonacci levels. And I didn't know what to call them, so I ended up calling them Fibots. And so if you went back 10 years ago on my YouTube videos, you'd see my daily pivots, but then you'd see like lines, right? You'd see dotted lines. And I believe they even produced extensions for me. So I'd say, well, I sold the 618, so I'm going to the 1382 Fibot extension. Okay. So that's what Fibots were, or are. I don't know if someone's created pivot points that use Fibonacci levels, which very often you'll see there's a relationship. And the reason there's a relationship is a pivot point, for example, is can be calculated by high plus low plus close, because it's a weighted average, divided by 3. Okay, that's one way of doing it. And what's a Fibonacci? High, right? Low, right? And then you're going to look at the distance and calculate 0.38 and 0.62 and 0.5 to create your numbers. But they're very, 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 very similar. So if this is your high, this is your low, right? And this is your close, you're creating what? A pivot point, a central pivot point slightly lower than 50%. So it did this, right? But if this was your high and this was your low, where's the actual 50%? Well, it's about here. So one is a weighted average, and the other one is average, right? And then above that, what are you going to get? 618. And you'll see that this weighted average is going to create a 618 that is going to be almost exactly, or it's going to create the M3 almost exactly where your 618 is. So all I'm trying to say is it's all the same. It's all the same. Right? I don't care what you use. Right? So new traders are mechanical because they're thinking that all these squiggly lines and algorithms tell them what to do. Here's what you're supposed to do. Do you think this is falling? Then sell it. But don't sell it down here, sell it up here. Don't sell it down here, sell it up here. The rest is nonsense. The rest is just a gobbledygook nonsense. So this is why I'm trying to teach you guys, flip a coin if you have to. You're a bear forever. For the next 42,368 years, all you're allowed to do is sell. The rest is easy. I don't care how you come to that conclusion, but right, you sell retracements, you sell high. And if it makes a high, back off, bro. Just back off. Everything else is a waste of time and money. So all these little algorithms and stuff, they just help us discern, is this a good time to sell? Should I sell it now? You should be like a dog. Should I sell it now? 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 I mean, that's it, right? That's all you need. How about now? I should sell it now, right? And all these tools just tell you, well, is this a good price for selling? Well, I prefer to sell down in here, but it hasn't made a higher high, right? Well, what about a Fibonacci? Should you sell it now? Oh, well, I can, maybe that's a 618. Maybe this is a role reversal. Maybe this is a psych level. Maybe this is a rejection at 82. Maybe, but all you're doing is looking for places to sell. People that lose money are looking for places to buy and sell. Okay? This was a place to sell because of the M2. This is a place to sell because of the 618. This is a place to sell because of the 82 psych level. Okay? And what about here? Right? Is this a place to sell? Well, yeah, because of the M4 and double top. But some are better than others, wouldn't you agree? And if it did this, it gets even better. So your job now is just say, well, I could have sold here, but it didn't develop. Could have sold here. It's not as good, but it is a 618. Well, maybe if it gets rejected at 82, or if it makes a lower low, lower high, I could also sell there. And then you sell retracements in the trend down. So you spend your whole life identifying the next 2 or 3 levels of what you would like to sell. And I'm like, oh my God, that's what I've been teaching you for the last 15 years. Develop a bias called strategy, and then identify, if you're a bear, the next 2 or 3 prices in which you would consider selling, and have justifiable technical analysis reasons to want to sell at those prices. I don't really know what other people do. Never had a need to know what other people do. Right? And maybe one day I'll take a Forex training course and I'll learn how to trade. But right now, this is what the markets have taught me. And how did I survive? I trade planned. I wrote down my trades before I traded them. Then I took snapshots, screenshots of the trades as I traded them. And then I printed all those out and I went through methodically, which took me hours and hours and hours and hours and hours every week, going back through all my trades, rethinking about them. Even though I already did them, I did them again for a 3rd time, really thinking about why did I do this and how did it help. But do you understand? You could just do that on Forex.Today yourself, looking at other people's trade plans. I didn't know other people that traded. I never saw other people's trade plans. I had no idea what people were doing. I still don't have any idea what people are doing. And when I see experts on TV, I'm like, I don't know why they don't know. I just don't know anything about anything. But I know, the one thing I do know is that you have an opportunity in front of you with Forex.Today to post your trade plans like I did before I took my trades. But you have it so much better and easier because now you can go through other people's trade plans and live them like they're yours. Risk-free opportunities to learn and look at them. What do you like? What don't you like? Leave a comment. Say, well, I like this, but this other thing concerns me, or I'm not so sure. Did you notice the higher time frame? Or why do you have your, why is your Stokes at 533? You see what I mean? Do you understand? It's a gift in front of you, and I don't understand. I don't understand why you don't utilize it significantly more. It's like it's holding you back. I can't make you drink the water, right? I can drag you to the watering hole, but I can't force you to drink. So I'm a little baffled and dumbfounded, not sure what to do. Maybe I just dump the whole site. That seems crazy to me. But if people don't use it, like, what's right? So I don't know. If I were me, if I were you, I'd be posting at least one solid trade plan per day. Not for everybody else, for me. And then I would go through and I'd read 2 or 3 more and leave thoughtful comments. That would be a big part of my day, because it was my part of my day. And again, if you've read my book, you'll understand how important it is to live your plan mentally, right? In your mind's eye, I believe is what I wrote. You have to live and trade with your mind's eye, because your brain inside your skull here, it can't see. It has eyeballs attached to it. It can't hear, but it's got ears attached to it. It can't feel. Your brain can't feel my desk. My fingertips can, and it sends electrical chemical energy through my body, and my brain says, based on this electrical chemical energy, I think I feel a table. But the brain can't actually feel. It's inside my skull. So it doesn't matter whether you're trading now, or you're looking at a chart from 10 years ago, or looking at someone else's chart. It can't see it, it can't touch it, it can't taste it, it can't feel it. It's just taking in electrical chemical energy through the eyeballs, and then processing it intellectually through different parts of the brain. So if you're analyzing my charts, your charts, Jimmy's charts, Wesley's charts, Eamon's charts, Delmas's charts, Echo's charts, it doesn't matter to the gray matter inside your skull. It's all real. So sitting around in front of your MT4 and throwing down a bunch of mediocre, crappy trades because you're bored is not going to make you a successful trader. Posting your trade plans on Forex.Today and then sharing thoughtful feedback with others will make you a better trader. And so when you make the connection that trading more doesn't make you a better trader, and thinking more about trading makes you a better trader, then maybe you will become a better trader. And that's a massive part of my book. Stop trading. And start thinking about trading, right? With your mind's eye. And as far as your intellect is concerned, it's just as real. So, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average.